Hey, everybody, it's me, Amelia Lady B, and welcome back to Millennial and Menopause. Today, we are going to be talking about hair loss and hair thinning. If you've been following me for some time, you know that I talk about hormones a lot. Hormones play a huge role in how our body reacts, how it develops, and just how it functions. Okay, so estrogen is a big key player in female hormones. So as the hormone estrogen reduces, it actually reduces the production of a natural oil called sebum, and sebum is found in a gland up under our skin. And so sebum is actually what protects the scalp from infection, and it also helps the scalp stay moist. Low estrogen also knocks off the balance of a hormone called dihydrotestosterone, DHI. I hope I didn't butcher it. That is a hormone that is responsible for the changes, for like masculine changes, and that would be like hair loss, and it gets kind of distorted. So once that gets disrupted, then we begin to start experiencing hair loss. Low estrogen also affects the hair growth cycle. So you see where I'm going here? Estrogen plays a very big role in how our bodies function. Estrogen, as you know, come from our ovaries, and so our ovaries produce estrogen. So those of us who have had hysterectomies and you had your ovaries removed, unfortunately, we begin to start feeling our bodies begin to deplete immediately. We're not producing estrogen as the body should. There are other glands in the body that produce estrogen, but our main production of estrogen is found in our ovaries. And so a lot of times that is why we experience menopause so heavily and so quickly. Now, women who are going through natural course of menopause, it begins to reduce gradually. So you start seeing changes in your body at a slower pace. So your hair loss even may be a little at a slower rate. You begin to start seeing your scalp getting dry. You have sensitive scalp. Texture changes, and as your hormones changes, so does the shape of your hair follicles. Isn't that something? Our body is something else. Like, it's a well-oiled machine until it's not a well-oiled machine. Other factors that play into hair loss are your predisposition to hair loss. So if you have family members that have hair loss, they had premature hair loss like at an early age, or the women in your family, as soon as they hit menopause or at some point they start experiencing hair loss, it's a chance that you may begin to experience hair loss. You may even experience hair loss sooner. I've known young people to have experienced hair loss in their 20s, sometimes even in their teens. It all depends on your body and also your family, your genetics. Now, does this mean that you're just going to wake up one morning and you're just not going to have any hair and this happens to everyone? I think it may happen as a gradual thing for the general population. Again, genetics play a role in a whole lot of things. Also, what plays a role in your scalp health is also what we're eating. A lot of people, if they begin to experience different changes in their bodies, they'll go into a more anti-inflammatory type of diet. It is a specific diet with specific foods to eat. Plant-based, a lot of people will go plant-based depending on what's going on with their health. So these are just some options and some things to kind of look at and to take into consideration if you are experiencing hair loss. specifically for Black women, we want to be careful of our hairstyles. I know we like to add extensions, and we wear different hairstyles. We manipulate our hair a lot. Many of us really do manipulate our hair a lot. And so if you're wearing tight braids, twists, even dreads, if you're adding hair in, we have to be careful as to how you are pulling your hair and how tight you're pulling your hair. When you pull your hair very tight, you actually can rip hair from the follicles or create tension on the hair follicles, which then you can actually see the hair breaking from the hair follicle. And then you're also damaging the hair follicle with all the tight and all the manipulation. Also, going back to hair products, we know recently articles came out regarding relaxers and keratin treatments and hair care products, all these different things that have been catered more towards Black women. And so we really want to be careful what we're using on our scalps. We want to be careful of how we are the hairstyles we are using as well, including wigs. So let's not leave wigs out. Be careful, when you're bonding and you're gluing your lace front down and things like that. So we want to be careful for how we treat our scalps. We want to look beautiful. You want your hair to be beautiful, but it starts with the scalp. So please be careful with how you manipulate your hair. The next thing we want to try to manage is our stress. Stress plays a huge role in our overall health, but it also plays a big role in our scalp, in our hair, in the blood flow. So when we are stressed, it can cause high blood pressure and other things going on in the body. And what's happening with high blood pressure is your blood is not circulating through your body properly. Because you are not getting the circulation that you need, it also can cut off the circulation to the scalp. And so when blood circulation is cut off from the scalp, guess what? We have hair loss, we have inflammation, and it's quite crazy because I've never actually heard of this until I researched this information. I did not know that it was just that deep. So we definitely want to look at our overall health. So honestly, it's like just getting yourself in a relaxed state. It's being mindful of what we're eating, being mindful of what's going on around us. Everything that we do, everything that we feel, our environment plays a huge role in our overall health. Our overall health affects every little thing that's going on in our bodies. It affects, because understand that when our hormones are out of whack, out of balance, whether it be medically or just due to environmental changes or whatever the case may be, it affects not only dry scalp, thinning hair, and hair loss or anything like that. It's also affecting dry skin. So it can, if you are prone to skin issues like eczema, psoriasis, things like that, it can make those things flare. So when it comes to our overall health, we want to pay attention to just about every little thing when it comes to our bodies. So paying attention to your hair, paying attention to your teeth, pay attention to your blood pressure, knowing your numbers. I did a video on that. Knowing your numbers, paying attention to your skin, taking care of yourself overall, your eating habits, what you're eating, what time you're eating, how often you're eating, the amount you're eating. Back to the scalp, back to our hair. It's important if you are beginning to experience hair loss, or you start to experience hair thinning, whether it be just a gradual, you start seeing it coming off the brush, you see it in the shower, you may see it on your pillow. Especially if you're not taking any types of medication that may cause hair loss and your doctor has told you that this is going to be happening, you definitely want to seek medical attention. So a dermatologist, there are two doctors I think you should check out and you should see. So the first one is a dermatologist. The dermatologist is a medical doctor who has experience in diagnosing skin and hair issues. The next doctor is called a trichologist. I think I said that correctly, but it's a trichologist. You see the word at the bottom. The trichologist is a doctor who is very well versed in hair. Like specifically, that's what they do. They know hair and scalp. So most likely treat from a holistic point of view. So the dermatologist is a medical doctor. They will diagnose and they'll start with treatments. Trichologists, they are hair experts, scalp experts. They have a wider range of treatments that they can offer, and it's more holistic, and they mostly come from a holistic point of view. So I would say you want to probably have both of those individuals in your care system, because the dermatologist can be the one that you go to and get your initial diagnosis, and then see the trichologist to see what treatments you can start doing for whatever scalp issues that you may have. I do want to also preface this. I know that when you go to the doctor, a lot of times they want to start treatments immediately. Please understand, especially if the dermatologist does not have a trichologist in the office with them. I think typically they work separately. I don't think I've ever seen, because honestly, I hadn't heard of a trichologist until after I had my diagnosis with CCA alopecia, and I had already started I did one treatment of these steroid shots in my scalp, and then I had the topical liquid for my scalp when I got diagnosed with that. So I hadn't heard about a trichologist until afterwards. I had met someone at a farmer's market who was a trichologist, and she had hair care products. I never went to one. It wasn't until I started doing research for this video that I said, I think I might need to, or may want to, see a trichologist just to see what options and see what they have to say about my scalp as well. So back to what I was saying. When you go to your dermatologist and you get diagnosed, they do a biopsy on your scalp. And so this is for any type, like I said, hair loss. I went because I was experiencing burning, itching, and I had patches. I had 2 patches at the top of my head. Now, please understand that I have CCA alopecia. This does not mean that you will have alopecia. It could be just general hair loss that they can help you with. Okay, so when you go to the dermatologist, you get your biopsy done. They will tell you what the issue could be for your scalp. Okay, once you get that diagnosis, you do not have to start treatment or their treatment. You don't have to start steroid treatment right away. This is with any doctor in general. Anytime you get a diagnosis, you have the option to tell them that you want to take a minute to think about what you want to start doing for treatment. That way you have the time to go to a trichologist and get some opinion. Ask them what they plan to put you on. Do your research on it and decide if that's what you want to do. Go to the trichologist, see what they have to say, and determine from there what options you want to go with. If you want to go the holistic route, maybe their approach is not steroids. It could be herbal or some type of herbal topical creams or herbs that you can use. They may put you at, who knows, they may set you up with a nutritionist and put you on some type of diet. Who knows? But the best thing to do is to look out for you first. Don't feel overwhelmed when you go. Do not feel like you have to say yes immediately and just start taking a treatment immediately. You want to take this process, I don't want to say slow, but you definitely want to take the time to think about your options and make your decisions accordingly. Again, we're not trying to put stress on you, right? So you don't want to be too stressed out about what's going on. You're losing your hair, the hair is thinning, and it is a stressful time in general. But don't put yourself in a situation where you're taking medicines or you're doing something that could have an adverse effect on you or may not work at all. Either way, whether you go the holistic route or you go a steroid route or whatever treatment, it may not work, right? So you just want to be mindful. Think about what's going on. Assess what's happening in your family genetic wise. Think about that. If it is genetics, it may be a chance that, you might, okay, this is what's happening, but how can I work on myself? What can I do to stop my hair or reduce the thinning in my hair? Okay, so that's all I have. I hope this video helped. There's so many things that occur in our bodies in general. I'll say it happens for men, but for the sake of of my channel for women, a lot happens in our bodies. We go through so much. Once we hit puberty, it's like, I don't know, anything and everything can occur. So for those of you who have been dealing with so much in your bodies already, do not be overwhelmed. I know it's easier said than done, but try not to be so overwhelmed. Try not to freak out. There is help out there for you. There are communities out there for you. I am here, and I hope that the videos that I have been producing thus far have helped you on your journey of whatever issue it may be, if it's alopecia, surgical menopause, or endometriosis. That's what my channel is all about. So until next time, ladies, be blessed, bold, and beautiful. Bye. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Millennial in Menopause. Bye.